Welcome to the Polytopian Interviewer, where I interview people on their experiences and views on the Polytopia Discord community. I have Snowgurl and Phoenix with me today. How are you all doing?
Doing well.
Great, thanks.
Really big talkers, if you could tell.
Yeah, totally. So, based on my research, my guess is that Phoenix got Snowgurl into Polytopia?
Yeah, we were just hanging out one afternoon and he said, "Hey, do you want to learn a new game?" So we did a pass and play game on his iPad. And I said, "What's that app called? I want to have it on my phone." He's had a hard time prying it away from me ever since.
How did you first find the Discord for Polytopia?
We found that through the summer tournament this past summer.
Summer skirmish, yeah.
Just popped up in the notifications and, oh, what's this? And kind of got delved into that. It morphed and exploded from there.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Phoenix, would you ever say your wife plays too much Polytopia? Same goes for you.
Now, see, that's a dangerous question. At times I would say that, when she's up late and complaining that she doesn't get enough sleep. Well, what are you doing? Well, I'm playing Polytopia. Well, you've got too many games going.
What? There's no such thing as too many games. You could totally have 70 games at once.
I have.
Apparently somebody else also had 70 plus games, but I don't remember who that was. All I know is most I ever did was 40, and I didn't do that for very long.
Yeah, it gets busy.
Snowgirl, I'm guessing you spend a decent amount of time on the main server then?
Pretty much. With the pause going on PC right now, I've been looking for some more games on main, but kind of spend a lot of time on both generally.
Okay. What about you, Phoenix? Where do you usually spend your time?
Lately, not really anywhere. Ever since these bugs kind of shut everything down. For a while, it was definitely the main server, and then pick stuff up on Polychamps. Starting out playing on the giant server and the ladder server, and probably my most amount of time is probably on Polychamps.
Makes sense. May I ask why you're both tribeless in main?
Because I'm not really sure what tribe I would be. I haven't really narrowed it down to what is my favorite. Really depends on what we're playing. You know, and even then, after a while, I get bored with one. So I haven't really found one that's my tribe.
Like the new tribe's your favorite?
It's new. It's different.
Kind of like when Polaris
I guess I
came
didn't
out?
really... Polaris was already out when we started playing. Or when I started playing.
Yeah, when you start playing. Because I was playing Polytopia way before that. They didn't have any special tribes when I started.
I remember that.
I want to say I even remember when... Was it Luxador that came out? Maybe even Venger.
Yeah, I guess I just don't really know what the point is in having a tribe in the main server. I mean, I have favorites. I'd probably pick Polaris if I had to pick one. But I don't know. I guess if we're allowed to turn a question back on you, that's my question, is what's the point in having a tribe?
Well, if you join Imperius, your nickname color will change to blue. Same with any of the other
Well,
tribes, though, with their respective colors.
Not for ELO helpers, though, because I have that color.
Yeah, that would be above the tribe role then.
Right.
So what does the ELO helper role do exactly?
Basically, when people have trouble with the ELO bot, something that they need, like a game deleted or unstarted or something, or like minor discrepancies between players. Oh, I won this game. No, I won this game. That kind of thing. They'll ping us and we'll try to sort it out.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Yeah, mostly. We sometimes help with figuring things out, like alts and stuff like that, too. That's probably more a mod thing, but we get to help with it.
I know a little bit about how that works. There's a bot that can check how old or new an account is. I noticed that Snowgurl recently started some 1v2s and 1v3s. How's that going for you?
Pretty good. I was doing those a little bit back before the ELO reset. I thought they were fun, kind of a different challenge. It switched things up. So I just recently started making some again. One of them I'll probably lose, but it's still fun. The other one's still pretty early on, but kind of feel good about that one.
I've played some 1v2s before, and granted not on main, but eventually the partners got so good at communicating with each other they were able to beat me some of the time. It was all unranked.
It's just kind of fun to do something different.
Yeah, especially if you manage to rush one of the players, then the other person's like, I can't really do anything.
Yeah, I actually had one, I think it was back in November. It was supposed to be a 2 versus 3, but, well, it was before when there was that glitch where you could kick people when they weren't timed out, and my teammate got kicked when he wasn't even timed out, which was a bummer, but whatever, we'll just go with it. So I kept communicating with him and sending him screenshots, but he couldn't do anything except verbal. And then that kind of faded away, and it was basically just me against them. But his bot decided it hated me, so it was basically a 1 versus 4. But I ended up winning it. That was crazy. It was fun.
Nice. Were you Kiku by chance, or do you remember?
I was Barter. My teammate was Lux. The opponents were Kiku, Polaris. I don't remember what the other was. Maybe Yadek.
Polaris.
Or however you say that. Yadek.
Yeah, Polaris in a more tightly packed game is always interesting. Because they either die quick or kind of do well, and then die off. Most of the time they die before they can get all their gamis and stuff.
Right. I think that's why I was able to beat that one. He hadn't really gotten strong enough. It was fairly tight quarters.
What's it like to be on the jets together?
It's kind of nice to be able to have a game, even if it's not one that you're playing together, but just talk over in person.
Yeah, and we have had 1 or 2.
Well, we currently have one that's 2 versus 2. So it's the 2 of us against 2 other people, but it hasn't started yet due to bugs.
Right. And then there's another one that's us with another teammate against people. It's really cool to do the games together on a team like that, and we can talk it over in person and then just write it up for our teammate or something.
Yeah, definitely.
When you play with somebody over Discord, one of the frustrations that I've found is to try and communicate and talk something through. You can do screenshots, you can draw it out and type it up. There's just something complicated, but when you can both take out your phones and look side by side and, okay, well, if I go here and you do this, and makes planning a lot easier.
That definitely gives you a nice slight advantage.
Yeah, and then just being on the team together is fun too. We have the whole team atmosphere, camaraderie that we can talk about together in real life. Just sort of hang out in jets together is a lot of fun.
What's the jets culture like?
Very friendly. We talk about food a lot and pets. And of course, Polytopia. Everyone's really nice and a lot of interaction together. Like, oh, hey, I made this for dinner, and oh, wow, that's cool, or oh, look at my dog. But then there's the asking each other for input on games, or just sharing games because it's fun, like, wow, look at this game, isn't this cool? I feel like it's probably pretty typical of most teams, but I guess I don't really know. But it's pretty nice. It's a fun place to hang out with other people that like Polytopia.
And it's pretty easy, generally, to find a pickup game. You want to just play a free-for-all or 2 versus 2 back and forth, as opposed to one that play when you can.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of people on the jets that like to, oh, hey, do you want to do a game right now? Or we just play it out in one sitting. We also have some team free-for-alls going on. We've got a bug mirror match that's just starting up.
Oh boy. Yeah, with the Simanti tribe, if you do a mirror, there's so many different ways to play them just on the map types alone. There's water world all the way to dry land.
Yeah. Definitely different challenges with each.
You got to be at the Simenti Beta. Could you share what it was like?
Bugs.
Wow, I haven't heard that joke in ever.
The word.
And there's still some issues that we're still running into. Like one, I had a giant on her city. She popped me out, and it actually broke my centipede in half. So my giant had one segment, but the last 3 pieces just stayed on the board doing nothing.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
I also noticed I tried to freeze the segment, and the game allowed me to freeze it. But when I moved to the head, the segment moved along with it and it unfroze.
Yep. We actually just saw that exact thing the other day. I was Polaris and he was Simanti, and that's what happened. Not sure if that's a bug or just how it's supposed to do it.
I mean, how I would do it is just have it not freeze, because what's the point of freezing something if it doesn't actually do anything? But I don't know.
My guess was that you wouldn't be able to explode the frozen segment, maybe.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I don't think I tested that. I'm pretty sure you can't explode stuff when it's frozen.
I didn't check to see if that was the case. But I bet you could probably explode a non-frozen segment, which would in turn explode that segment.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
because
all
when
in
you
a giant
explode
chain.
one, they all go.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Interesting.
Are either of you striving to be a pro player for the Jets?
Not sure yet. Definitely my skill level isn't at that level for sure, but it is something that would like to keep learning and getting better. Maybe someday just might hit that.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I know I'm definitely not up to par to be a pro, but it would be cool to be that eventually. Definitely just having fun and trying to learn as much as I can right now to get better.
Mm-hmm. In Polychamps, what do the role helper and league helpers do?
They help. Kind of like the ELO helpers on main. Specifically, well, I'm a league helper and a Nova helper, and the Nova helpers are kind of like the ELO helpers on main, except that they help things with games specific to Novas. So if they need a game unstarted or deleted or something like that, or a discrepancy. And then the league helpers are basically that, except with the games that are specific to league members. So basically anyone on Polychamps that's not a Nova. Same thing with unstarting games and deleting games or swapping players out. That happens a lot, where the teams will have their lineups and then, oh wait, can we switch this player out? And so we help with that. The role helper gives roles to people. So if a team said, we want to give so-and-so recruiter role, or we want to give so-and-so co-leader role, the role helpers can apply that role to their name.
Okay.
So we basically just get pinged and help with those things here and there.
What's it like being in Polymasters?
And that's kind of a new thing for me. I think I joined it, I'm not sure, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So far it's been fun. There's a group of us in I'm not sure if they call it a division there or what, but
I believe so.
It's a bunch of 1v1s against different people in your group, your division. So far that's been cool, especially with the PC pause. It's nice to have those games going on. And there's actually a couple of people in my division there that are from Jets, so just people I've been familiar with anyway, so that's interesting.
Did you beat any of them yet?
We haven't finished any of the games yet. There's one that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to win, though. The others are going pretty good so far.
Okay. How about the Giants League Steam server?
It's been fun. I guess the one thing that I don't really care about it is the spreadsheet and keeping track of the score and just trying to keep all that together. Often make a kill, and then try and remember, oh wait, what turn was that I did that? Who did I take out? And that type of stuff. The first time around was a little bit different because I had a lot of teammates that just kept timing out and disappeared, and so it was a lot of bots. How do you handle that? But other than that, it's been a good experience.
You were both in the first division in the Giants League. What was that like?
Like I was saying, it was good. It was fun. I had a lot of teammates that timed out, so towards the end of it, there was one that we went back and forth quite a bit, very quickly playing the game down, just finish them out. Definitely enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, I didn't win in my Steam division, but I won in the Giants League mobile division recently, and that was fun. There was one opponent that was definitely giving me a run for my money, and I thought he was going to win, but then when I finished up a couple other games that I ended up winning that pushed my score over top of his, I was surprised, I guess. Not like shocked, but just a little bit surprised that my score ended up being higher. I was like, oh wow, I just won. That's pretty cool.
The score is determined by what exactly?
I'm not 100% sure how it works, but it's definitely about the kill points, and you get more kill points the earlier in the game you kill someone. And then, of course, winning a game, you get more points. So there's points different ways like that. And like Phoenix said, you keep track of things in a spreadsheet, and then it just calculates the score.
Okay.
So you just have to remember when you kill somebody to input it, otherwise you won't get those kill points.
Yeah, a spreadsheet would be initially easier rather than a bot. Because a bot, then you'd have to know all the commands. Spreadsheet is you just pull it up and enter it in.
Yep. Either way, you have to remember to do it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe in the future, when they eventually implement mods, that can be a thing to keep track of your kill points or whatever, but that's a ways away yet. Snowgurl, how did you first get into Friendly Polytopia?
Trying to remember for sure. You invited me, but I don't remember the exact circumstances. It was literally right after I got into Jets that I also got into Friendly Polytopia. I feel like we had played a game and we were just chatting, and you asked me if I wanted to join your server, and I was like, oh hey, why not? I'm collecting Discord servers apparently. It's a really cool server, so I'm glad that I did.
There's tournaments and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, the tournaments here are fun.
Eventually we'll have them all down and not have giant roadblocks like game-breaking bugs.
That's slowed down a lot of different servers, not just this one.
Yeah, definitely. It slowed down Polychamps, the post, I believe. So earlier, both of you said you don't have a favorite tribe?
Yep.
I've been really liking Polaris lately, so he'd be my favorite if I had to pick one. I mean, Barter's my typical go-to, like probably most people, because of it being really strong and powerful. But I've always really liked Kiku. I like the water battle, so that one's fun. And the customs houses.
Least favorite tribe?
Maybe Quetzali or Aimo.
I'm not a fan of Zabazi. Quetzali, I like them. In a tiny map with a bunch of people, they can actually do really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because of their defenders, and everybody else generally has warriors, and they can't do anything against the defenders. You can't attack with defenders, but they can't take you out. Zabazi, I'm not a fan of them, just because you get farming right away, but then there's very little resources else as you grow.
Well, there's a decent amount of fruit spawns, and you can do road connections.
True.
And windmills.
Yeah.
I just did a Zabazi match. I don't think it had any fruit, or very little.
The last game I played with the Zabazi, I don't remember any fruit.
Sometimes there's some fruit, sometimes there's not. Even rarer is when there's animals. At least in my experience.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen an animal with Zabazi. Maybe.
Do you have a favorite unit?
There's a lot of different strategies, and it depends on what the opponent's doing.
Mhm.
Rider spam is generally pretty good and cheap. Knights are kind of expensive to get there, but they're so fun, especially if your opponent is rider spamming and then you get a knight and they don't realize you got a knight, and you can just clean house and go right through their chain of all their riders. When I first started playing, I was all about the swordsmen, but I realized they're generally not actually worth it.
They have 3 attack, 3 defense, but usually economy bonus of the mines and forges usually doesn't go in your favor.
Right.
Favorite strategy?
To win.
Maybe
that's not a strategy, but
isn't Polytopia just all about you get all the techs and you beat everybody up and win?
Well, that's the way I thought it was originally, but it seems like generally not getting all the techs is better.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely learning that the game can be over very quickly, so trying to take advantage of what you've got seems to help. The fact that I'm not very good, I'd say my strategies generally don't work the best. So definitely working on that.
You're in the Jets, you gotta have at least something in you, right?
They also have to have somebody that takes all those bad games. Somebody to lose.
Don't listen to him. He's better than he thinks he is. I don't know if it counts as a strategy, but if I'm playing Polaris and I manage to get a huge map, or especially a massive map, definitely to get that ice bank as soon as possible. And at that point, you practically got the game because the ice bank makes such a difference. And you can start getting the gommies and just start freezing everything and combine that with the battle sleds and maybe some knights. And
I
that's
almost never
powerful.
use battle sleds.
Really?
If you've got a lot of ice, they do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, they're pretty horrible on land, but on ice, it's nice that they can move, attack, retreat.
And they can move from quite a distance.
Yeah. How many movement do they have again? 3?
I don't remember, but if you have glide, it makes it more.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I forgot they existed.
I have yet to beat you in a Polaris mirror match, though, so maybe I'm not doing quite as well with Polaris as I thought, or maybe you're just the Polaris master.
I have no idea, because I don't remember when we did that game. I'm doing a bunch of Polaris mirrors right now, so we can do another one if you want.
Yep, we should.
I'm going against the old love right now. I kind of have an upper hand.
Really? He's a pretty good player from what I hear.
Yeah, I suppose I can share this. One of the biggest weaknesses of the Vikings is playing Polaris, because it's almost never used competitively.
That's interesting. That's right, you're on the same team, aren't you?
Yep. With Loki, the old love, Hickey.
Yeah, those are nice people.
What's the most memorable game you ever played?
Probably the one that we're still playing. It started out as a Jets free-for-all, and everybody left it because somebody did something wrong, but Snowgurl and myself and one other person stayed in. It's currently to the point where each of us have about half the map. We make one move where we destroy a bunch of their units, and then next move they destroy a bunch of our units, and it's just this back and forth battle that has just been slowly creeping one way and then the other.
It's appropriately named Epic Battles.
I've seen that game name as well.
Yeah, it's probably a common one.
The spaghetti of squirrel isn't a common name. I know that.
I've seen spaghetti, but not combined with squirrel.
It was a 12 FFA I did with a bunch of people on Friendly Polytopia. I have a feeling you were in it, though I don't quite remember.
Okay, maybe I did see it and I forget. I have seen Spaghetti a few times. I was in one called Spaghetti and LOL.
There's some interesting names in there.
For sure.
How many games are you usually in at once?
Should I open my Polytopia app and check? What's your answer?
At
Too
the moment,
many?
I'm on the high side.
Well, are we counting the paused games from PC?
Well, of course.
I guess.
Too many to count. I think I have about 50 right now.
Wow. That's more than I ever did.
I've got about 15, and that's probably the norm.
Around 15, 20 games.
It's enough to have something to do periodically throughout the day. Pick it up, take this turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a random 1 versus 1 5-minute match every now and then if I want something faster.
Are you working on getting your ELO up, Phoenix?
Not really playing any games on there because of the bugs.
After they're fixed?
I would like to.
Last question. What's your favorite part of the Polytopia fandom as a whole? It can be like the Discord servers or something about the game or anything like that.
Probably say the camaraderie, not just within Discord, but also just friends and talking about it with them and finding out that they've actually played it and like it and getting games going with them. Also, the gameplay, the strategy behind turn-based game is a lot of fun. And it's nice because at our point in life, we don't necessarily always have time to sit down and just play a game straight through.
Mm-hmm.
And so something like this is great to take your turn, go about, do whatever you're in the process of doing, and come back later and take your next turn, and so on and so forth.
I'd say it's been really cool just meeting all the different people on Discord. I didn't even know about Discord at all before. I don't think either of us did before we joined Polytopia because of the summer skirmish that Phoenix referenced. And just meeting all the people on main server and then all the other servers getting into Polychamps and Jets and the team aspect. But just the people on the other teams too. It's just been neat meeting all these different people from all over the world and just seeing how big Polytopia is and how many people like it and oh, what's your time zone? Oh, you're in Asia, I'm in America, and he's in France, and just how big it is in that aspect, I think is pretty cool.
And the fact that it's created by indie artists. It's not like some big Epic Games, or it's just a small team that has put this together, and it's just incredible to be a part of it and to see how it's grown and where it's just this worldwide event.
They're growing slow and steady, and they recently had their 5-year anniversary, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that.
Will be definitely interesting to see if they are bringing more multiplayer functionality into the game as opposed to relying on a separate unit to do that. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that they could do if they had it all internal.
Could you elaborate on that?
Imagine if these games were actually housed and ran through the app itself. Then it would know who killed who when. And so you could actually set it all up for the game itself to keep track of that and have a scoreboard.
So instead of the current in-game matchup, if the game somehow had the capability of actually housing, say, Polychamps right in it, where you can set up the games and chat with people, all of that.
You could take a screenshot, you could draw on it, and send it straight from within the game, and maybe that shows up on your other teammate's screen showing your scribble of go here, do this. so on and so forth, instead of having to either have two devices or switch back and forth between multiple things. There's just a lot of things that could be done, but they are a small team, so.
The screen sharing would probably not be implemented because Discord does that. But when you mentioned about the keeping track of everything, that can definitely be used because, say you want to do a challenge, and the challenge will just preload all the restrictions of you can only do this tech tree and can only get these units, and it'll keep track of everything for you. It'll also make it a lot easier, like people do no tech games. You can make it so the game forces you that you can't get any more techs, so you don't accidentally buy one or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would make that easier.
And Wicked Vendor's doing it without all that functionality, which is amazing. That's all the questions I had.
Okay.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been fun.
So you gonna join Friendly Polytopia, Phoenix?
Maybe if I get an invite.
I invited you.
Oh!
Maybe you should invite him. Maybe he'll listen to you.
I'm just some random guy on the internet that plays Polytopia and does a Polytopia podcast. And YouTube channel. And runs a whole server.
Just some random guy.
Alright. Thanks so much for your time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
As always, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed it, feel free to share it. For the text version, you can join my Discord in the description. I also have a YouTube channel where I play 1v1s and occasionally do tutorials. We'll be back next week. Bye!